everyone. So thank you for joining us today. We are very happy to have you with us for this webinar. My name is Soraya Mellinato, and today, together with Davide Michelin, my colleague from CMCC, we will moderate this session. Let me quickly share how the webinar is structured. So we'll begin with a short introduction about the Naturance project and EuCliPa, the two partners involved in this webinar. Then we will give the floor to our two guest speakers who will dive deeper into the topic and share their perspective. And finally, the last part of the webinar will move to the core of this session. So introducing the Naturethon initiative, how it works, the timeline, and then we will dedicate some time to the group setup and some practical activities so you can start engaging and preparing for the next step. So before we begin, I'd like to encourage you to keep your microphones muted, but feel free to use the chat to present yourself and use also the Q&A section to ask questions or share comments at any time. So let's start with a short introduction to the Naturance project. This is an Horizon Europe project exploring how disaster risk financing can be combined with nature-based solutions to create stronger, more resilient communities. The project doesn't only look at technical aspects, but also it considers financial and operational feasibility, making sure that the solutions are practical and effective. Next slide, please. Here we can see EuCliPa, the association founded by the Italian ambassadors of European Climate Pact. EuCliPa acts as the Italian national coordinators of the Pact, part of the European Green Deal. Its mission is to actively involve citizens in shaping a climate-neutral Europe. The association organizes local events and activities connecting ambassadors with citizens, institutions, businesses, and in general civil society. Next slide, please. Let me introduce today's speakers. So we will have Luciana Favaro, Climate Pact Ambassador and also President of EuCliPa Italy. She will share inspiring stories and best practices of citizens' engagement in local decision making. And then we will have Andrea Staccione in the next slide from CMCC. She will guide us through nature-based solutions, explaining what they are, their benefits, and how they can be applied in a real-world context. So I will pass the floor to Luciana for her presentation, and I would like to remind you that you can write directly to the Q&A section the questions you want to ask. At the end of each presentation, there will be a few minutes dedicated to it. Please, Luciana, the floor is
Thank you. Thank you, Soraya. Thank you very much. Let me just share my slides. Well, good evening to everybody. First of all, I would like to thank the CMCC Foundation for inviting me to speak about our association commitment to citizen participation in local climate policies, with a focus on my presentation will have a focus on a specific project called the CCAP School that we are carrying out with the INDIRE, the Italian National Institute for Educational Research, and with CMCC itself. The name of the project is CCAP Schools, as it aims to engage students, high school students and university students in local climate policies. But let me start with a brief presentation of EuCliPa. It's a non-profit Italian association founded by a group of Italian ambassadors of the European Climate Pact and a few citizens. And one of its mission is indeed citizen engagement and empowerment in local climate policies. But what is the European Climate Pact? It is an initiative promoted by the European Commission as part of the Green Deal to encourage citizens to become directly involved in European climate policies. The aim is to create a movement of people who will help Europe become the first climate neutral continent by 2050. The role of Pact Ambassadors is an honorary position assigned following a selection process and subject to annual renewal. Let me take this opportunity to communicate that in case some of you is interested, applications are open to become Pact Ambassadors or Pact Partners in case you represent an organization, and the call is open until the 15th of October. Pact Ambassadors are people committed to informing, inspiring, supporting climate policy and action in the communities and networks. Partners are organizations committed to addressing climate change and contributing to a sustainable future. The Climate Pact is a network at the moment of around 1,500 ambassadors and partners organizations in Europe. Italy has the largest community, and it consists of over 100 ambassadors and partners. And EuCliPa has recently been nominated country coordinator of the Italian community by the European Commission. Before moving on to the central part of my presentation, I would like to mention something about adaptation with NBS, with nature-based solution, which is the main topic of Naturance, again from a European perspective. This is a quote from the State of the Union address delivered by von der Leyen a few weeks ago. I underlined the last couple of lines where she said, this is why we have to radically step up our efforts into climate resilience and adaptation and nature-based solutions. So she specifically mentioned nature-based solutions in her speech, because on a European level, they are seen as the default first line of defense in adaptation. Now, let's speak about the CCAP project we are carrying out. First of all, we need to explain what a CCAP is. Probably many of you don't know exactly what it means. Well, the acronym stands for Sustainable Energy and Climate Action Plan. These are strategic documents, local climate plans developed by municipality as part of the Covenant of Mayor initiative. But what is the Covenant of Mayors? It is an initiative launched in 2008 by the European Commission, and it is the largest movement of local authorities working toward sustainable future, committing on a voluntary basis to climate and energy goals. And when we speak about climate goals, we speak about mitigation and adaptation goals. So when we started this project, the first thing, the basic information we gathered was that over 5,000 Italian municipalities have signed the Covenant of Mayors agreement with the European Commission over the years, but many of them never submitted their local climate plan, their CCAP. And those who have submitted the plan usually do not inform and engage their citizens. That's why with a group of Italian ambassadors, we decided to organize a few initiatives and to raise awareness, and the ongoing CCAP School project is the most relevant one. I presented this project a few days ago in Brussels at a conference at the European Commission, and I used this image where you can see 3 out of the over 40 pictures of sites that need to undergo urban regeneration, in the opinion of the Italian teachers who attended the CCAP summer school we organized last August. The CCAP Summer School is a teacher training course organized by EuCliPa, Indire, and CMCC, but it is just the first part of a larger project that aims to allow students to move from protest to proposal with the support of their teachers. And so the main objectives is awareness raising and engagement of young people and schools in local policies, and to allow them to move from protest to proposal. This project has 3 stages. Stage 1 was finished a few weeks ago, and it was a summer school, as I said, an intensive teacher training course in which teachers were facilitated to check if their municipalities had a CCAP and to consult it. And then they were trained to design an adaptation action that could potentially be included in the climate plan of their municipality. And this is the most important part: in designing these adaptation proposals, they were invited to adopt nature-based solutions. We received a lot of very interesting proposals. In the next 2 slides, you will find a couple of them. I'm not describing them in detail. You can have my presentation in case you're interested. What I can say is that one I like the most was the proposal to depave a concrete area next to a school to restore natural soil and to grow heat-resistant plants. In this way, of course, allowing temperatures to lower, rainwater to infiltrate the ground. But what I liked is that the teacher underlined that in this way, students in their classroom, watching out of the windows, they could see some green. And this was a way to reconnect them to nature also during school time. The next 2 stages of the project are one is starting very soon. It's a follow-up because many teachers asked us to support them after the training course, and what they are going to do is to work in class with the students, either to develop and refine these adaptation proposals or to design new ones. In the 3rd stage, which will be the most delicate one, that will probably take place in the first part of next year, these schools will meet their local administrators. So what we are going to do is that a few Climate Pact ambassadors and NBS experts will accompany these schools to meetings with the local authorities to present and propose their adaptation measures. But the aim is a long-term one. What we would like to do is to start a constructive and lasting dialogue with local institutions. That's all. Thank you for your attention, and the floor back to you, Soraya.
Thank you very much, Luciana, for this interesting presentation, full of useful and inspiring ideas for our Naturethon participants, especially regarding the citizen engagement part. So actually I have two questions. One is more general and the second one is more related to the SECAP project. So the first one is, in your such as extensive experience, what do you think are the main challenges that communities face when trying to engage actively in decision making? So this is the first one. And the second one is, how can schools integrate nature-based solutions into educational programs, trying to foster not only theoretical knowledge, but let's say also promoting civic and environmental skills.
Okay, thank you for your questions, Soraya. Well, the first one was about the challenges. I think that the most challenging part will be the third stage. Not all local administrations are open to citizen participation, so we will probably see side by side what the conditions are, and probably we will have to prepare the meetings between the school and the public and the local administration somehow. For the second question, well, I think that probably the best way to integrate nature-based solutions is like through projects like the ones we are carrying out, like Naturance and PAIS School, because I think the expertise that is needed to understand exactly what NBS are, because it's not just a matter of putting some new green in a city. And that's why I think that your project is particularly valuable. You really need to understand and to be prepared when you want to propose nature-based solutions in your territories.
Thank you very much, Luciana. Okay, so we are on time. I don't see any more questions on the chat. So I give the floor to our next speaker, so Andrea Staccione. Andrea, please, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Soraya, and welcome everybody. It's a pleasure to be here. And thank you, Luciana, also for your introduction for the citizen engagement importance in this type of topic. And we will see now how these relate particularly also with nature-based solutions. So my role today is to guide you a little bit more on what nature-based solutions are, a bit more in detail, try to give you an overview on why we are here, why we are talking about nature-based solution today. So, yeah, in the current global climate, environmental challenges, there is a urgent need for transformative change. To learn how to adapt, to make our world more resilient and capable to cope with the challenges we are facing now. And in this context, this transformative change need to be based on a common health that include ecosystem, planetary, human society, human well-being, ecosystem health, planetary health all together. So we are going to move to transformative for a climate change adaptation that take into consideration all the sphere that compone our world. And nature-based solution and nature restoration are considered key action to pursue this transformation. Today, in several European international policies, nature protection, nature conservation, nature-based solution are seen as key action. And why is this? Because nature-based solutions are alternatives to the traditional measure that are used to tackle environmental and socioeconomic challenges. They are solutions, so they're trying to solve problem, but they are also multifunctional, so they try to provide multiple environmental, social, and economic benefits at the same time while trying to solve one issues. We will see this a little bit later, what we mean for. They help to build resilience, to protect biodiversity, so there are several purpose and benefits at the same times. And lastly, but not least, they are closely connected to the local community. This is why also the topics of citizen engagement and nature-based solutions are so closely related, because nature-based solutions to function really need to be connected to the local context and to the local communities. This is also something that is come really from the definition. This is a very heavy slide, but just to put there, definition of a nature-based solution is evolving over time and is taking, and each definition tried to highlight one of these aspects. We have a definition that support more the socioeconomic perspective, so the support that nature can provide to green growth, economic and sustainable development, innovation opportunities. We have a definition that stress the importance of the ecological perspective, so the nature conservation and restoration. And lastly, the last definition that came out and really stressed this importance of safeguarding the rights of communities and indigenous people, and these need to be, so this solution need to be defined, developed together with the people living the context. So their action to protect, conserve, restore, sustainable manage the ecosystem to address all the challenges we have seen to simultaneously provide these human well-being, ecosystem services, and resilient and biodiversity benefits. You can also heard, or when we're talking about nature-based solution, we can also meet some other terms like green infrastructure, ecosystem disaster risk, ecosystem-based disaster risk reduction, ecosystem-based adaptation and mitigation. And all these are slightly different perspective, but all of them are working on the same approach. So the nature-based solution is an umbrella concept that includes all of them to try to cover different aspects of the societal challenges. Nature-based solution can be applied in all the ecosystems. So you can see here example from the coastal and river ecosystem, on the urban areas, agricultural land, and we will go deep on this. And they work by providing ecosystem services, so benefits that the nature provide to the human societies, such as like cooling temperature, sequestering carbon dioxide, offering opportunity for recreation or recreational activity, aesthetics, and also providing key primary resources such as fresh water, foods, etc. So to give you some more concrete example of what I mean here you can have some example on the coastal area. On the coastal area, we can have dunes restoration, dune restoration on mangrove forests, for example, or permeable dams that help the society to face coastal erosion and storms, but at the same time, so by reducing the winds and wave strengths, the seawater intrusion in the fresh water, but at the same time, they can support the sustainable economy towards, for example, aquaculture, you can see here on the top, education, ecotourism, but also support the carbon storage, temperature reduction, and habitat restoration and biodiversity. providing a more like quality, higher quality habitat, let's say. Similarly, on the river ecosystem, we have solutions that try to act, for example, against flood risk, try to return space to this, giving more space to this river to let the water overflow when it's exceeded, or try to remeandering and renaturalize the river flow to slow down also the runoff and the water exceedings. But also these allow to provide urban regeneration, and you can see on the top, public amenity, recreational space, and again, biodiversity and restoration. Biodiversity and restoration you will see mostly everywhere, because this is another important aspect of nature-based solution. They cannot consider nature-based solution if they're going to harm or impact, have any negative impact on biodiversity. They need to support the habitat restoration and biodiversity. In the agriculture example, we can find, for example, measure to address water scarcity and water quality. You can have forest infiltration areas, so tree buffer zone, water retention ponds that help to store water when we have more, for example, during the winter, to be used, for example, during the irrigation season. This type of solution, like the forest infiltration area, includes trees and water channels, and these alternation help through the tree roots to recharge groundwater aquifers, and at the same time, water pass through these vegetation roots, and they help to improve their water quality. So they filtrate the nutrients that can be in the water, ensure water availability. They can be used as educational, recreational space, and support again habitat restoration and biodiversity. In the urban context, we have several examples. I put here something that relate to fighting heat waves and flood risk. And you can find example as urban parks and green spaces, or green alleys, or green streets, green roof, rain gardens. All these type of solution contribute to increase the water storage and infiltration. So as Luciana mentioned before, the idea of depaving concrete surface to be replaced with more green surface that allow the infiltration of the water into the soil, to the ground. They contribute to the temperature reduction, to increase the public amenity, recreational opportunity, but also in this case to absorb carbon sequestration and air pollution. Somehow green roofs and green walls and having a cooling environment contribute to the energy saving, and again, habitat restoration and biodiversity. But how we know that these nature-based solutions are really effective? I want to give you a conclude with a quick example where we try to see how nature-based solutions or natural water retention measures that contribute to extend the green surface in urban environment can help to fight against pluvial flood risk. So the risk of having floods in the urban environment related to heavy precipitation. And we conducted the case studies in the city of Milan, where we tried to see how increasing these green spaces can reduce the impact and the damages related to pluvial flood risk. So we tried to build scenarios where when we increase the surface, the green surface in the cities, these scenarios are based on some criteria that help and that can provide multiple benefits, like green spaces accessibility, green roofs, so also can reduce, as we said before, energy, where this can be feasible, so where we have the space that can be converted to green area, and where we have the major needs, also where we are the more exposed area in terms of population and flood risk. And we test this, and we found that this is a very busy slides, but the key message is that we see that increasing the green coverage of at least 25% will lead to a change in the water depth, so the floods that is going to happening in the cities. This amount that can halve the expected annual damages and the to the direct building, so the economic damages that the building can suffer, and also to the half the population exposed to this type of solution. So this is really a nice result that show how this can be really effective measure to combat and to mitigate, to adapt to climate change. So just let me conclude. So we know and that this nature-based solution can help us to contribute to climate change, to disaster risk reduction, but they also contribute to provide multiple co-benefits. And we have evidence based on evidence that support this effectiveness. Although we need to pay attention because these are living solutions that need to be managed as well and preserved. So this is also something that need to be taken into consideration where we are planning and developing some nature-based solution ideas. The community awareness and support is key to make them really lasting and be sustainable and to be implemented and to move to support also these transformative changes with the public administration. And also that can be also seen as economic investment opportunities. And with this, I will leave these slides to you. You can also have some reference here if you want to go deep in some of the examples that I showed very quickly. And with this, I conclude. And if I'm happy to take any questions on this, and we will have the chance to talk also more during this initiative together if needed.
Thank you very much, Andrea, for sharing this knowledge based on nature-based solution, which is important for clarifying not only the value of nature-based solution, but also their applicability and their related benefits. I actually have a couple of questions for you. So the first one is more general. So in your opinion, what are the main challenges, the main common challenges when moving from the theory to the real world application of nature-based solution? And the second one is related to the last part of your presentation. So the benefits of the nature-based solution. So you already mentioned the case of Milan, but if you can give us more context about how can we quantify the benefits of nature-based solution? If you have any other, I don't know, suggestions or references that you can share with us. Thank you.
Thank you, Soraya, for the question. As you touched two very critical points, I think. So how to really, what the challenge is to pass from the theory to the practice. And this is one of the main, challenges really, because nature-based solutions are really context-related, context-specific. So it's really important to investigating what is the condition, the local condition, and to make sure that there is the enabling condition to have them implemented are possible. So we have the possibility to implement them. And this is not only the physical space, because of course we need space to implement nature-based solution, as you think in our cities. And if we want to create a park or we want to plant trees, we need space. So there is these issues. There is also regulatory governance possible. We have a lot of incentives, but on the other side, we can also have limitation, and we can find some resistance in this context, especially at the very local level, because we have many incentives at the European national level, but when is the time to translate into the local context, that's also sometimes very difficult. And the last challenging point is the economic, the financing. So we need money, of course, to implement this. We are studying also with the Naturance project many ways to how to support the investment in nature-based solution, especially in relation to the risk reduction, like towards innovative schemes, insurance, and investment mechanism, but it's not needs. And this is also related to the importance of having evidence. So because how to quantify them, because we really need to have number to justify this type of solution, also in economic terms, to make it happen. And I will just before moving also to this part of the answer also to the second question, another important thing in my perspective is that all this type of solution is very context specific, but need to be spread and connected through the landscape and the space. So we really need to push for a transformative change that is not the single solution or the unique isolated solution into the city like the urban park, but this should be something that engage all the redesign, let's say, all the context, all the landscape. Coming to the evidence, we have several model, several methods to try to assess the effectiveness of nature-based solution. We have models to assess their effectiveness in terms of disaster risk reduction, in terms of the eco-benefits they produce, and also their economic efficiency, let's say. The hard things is that this type of model are usually very, can be very complicated and complex, not easy to ask. They need a lot of data. And especially, we probably need many methods to be combined to have an overall value, a full valuation of nature-based solution context. But there is a lot of going on this. Again, the Naturance project or many other projects we are working with are now really trying to push and find out how to support this type of methodologies. So there is a lot of space for improvement. We have a lot already, but there is, they also need a lot lot of work to be done again.
Very good. Thank you very much. So thank you, Andrea, and thank you, Luciana. Now I will give the floor to Davide, who will introduce and explain the Naturethon initiative in detail. Davide, the floor is yours.
Yes, thank you, Soraya, and thank you, Luciana and Andrea, for this insightful presentation that touched the two really key challenges of all the adaptation processes. Before starting, I just spent a few words on me. That I'm Davide Michelin. I'm a science outreach manager at CMCC in Venice, and today I'm wearing the hat of the Naturance communication officer. I really would like to thanks again our speaker, because we really know that an active engagement of citizens make citizens able to participate in the decision-making process of their territory is pivotal. And at the same time, we are fully aware that it's not enough to participate passively to what is changing, but also to have a role. And in this context, we tried to contribute as Naturance project and as a CMCC with this initiative that is called Naturethon. Let me share a few slides. that goes exactly in this direction. Yeah, the idea behind the Naturethon is to stimulate the formation of a series of groups of citizens, and not just citizens, but also experts, students that are willing to uh, get engaged in the decision processes, in the deployment, in particular of a network-based solution on in their territory. So the idea is to stimulate the formation of this group, of course, in which different expertise can merge. So the structure of the initiative is quite the same of the last edition, because this is the second edition of the initiative, and includes a series of webinar led by high profile speakers from all the Europe and beyond, and then a more practical, I would say, part in which our team will guide the groups, the participant, to design a real, a tangible solution for their neighbors. So giving them, for example, not only concept but also practical tips, suggestion pinpointed on their local context. The structure of this year includes 3 online event, and every event has such as the one of today, 2 part. The first one is more dedicated to the knowledge, so learn new concept, new skills, both in terms of scientific knowledge, but also in the term of engage the stakeholders that can be interested in implementing a network-based solution on the territory. And between these events, the next one will be on 28th of October. The groups will be guided from with a series of homework, I will say, a series of tasks tailored on their process of design, to arrive at the end of the initiative with a tangible, with a concrete project that can be shared with their own local administration, ideally. This is a overview of what Naturethon, of the outcome of the first edition of the Naturethon. So we about 300 people joined the initiative from 57 groups. We organized 9 events, part of online and the other in person. And the board you can see is one came from the one of the winner proposal of the last year, that was a project on the flood management in Valencia, and it's a good screenshot of the process that bring to identify a solution to be proposed, for example, to stakeholders and local administration. The initiative started with the subscription to the Naturethon newsletter. The Naturethon newsletter is give us the possibility to reach you. So you get you will be in our radar, and we can share with you, of course, new content, new ideas, but also we can follow your updates and give you tips on your project. The part of the supporting activities I already described. We have 3 webinars and a series of practical tasks. And of course, every time we have a sort of checkup on the advancement. The initiative will end in the 1st of December, in which all the groups will submit their ideas. These ideas will be reviewed by our team of researchers, and after that we have also a sort of assessment and a selection of the 3 ideas that stood the others for criteria of innovation, feasibility, and of course of social and environmental impact. The 3 selected proposal will be also hosted by the project at the upcoming Finance Innovation Festival in Brussels in February, where they might show their idea and receive feedbacks, but above all, it's a place in which there will be also a lot of possibly interested stakeholder in financing their ideas. All the group anyway will receive a participation certificate, and the most valuable group also a water bottle and the plantation of a tree in collaboration with the Freedom. This is the overview of the initiative. Now I will suggest to move on for those they are interested in participate to the Naturethon. So yeah, this is the end of the first part. Who?
Thank you.
Oh, pardon, I have some issue with the connection. No. So before going ahead with the people that want to stay and participate, I would say thank you again to Andrea Staccione from CMCC. Thank you, Andrea.
Thank you, Davide.
And to Luciana Favaro from EuCliPa. And I remember that we will go ahead working with EuCliPa for the PAISC summer school that will bring the a similar initiative to the schools. And yeah, for all the other people, we can move to the second part of the meeting. So thank you, and yeah, let's go ahead.
Thank you, Davide, for introducing the initiatives, and I think it sounds really exciting, and really looking forward to see what is coming out from the second round of this Naturethon. I see there are some questions that's coming out also about how it's going to work in detail. And I really recommend you to stay with us, because now we are going a little bit more deeper in what is going to really be in concrete the initiatives. And we want to warm up a little bit who is interested to join. We want to check who is in the room and try to kick off these initiatives with a quick introductive round using a Mentimeter. And the idea is that to get to know each other a bit better and see what is coming next. So we leave the floor to Rudy, that will guide us through the Mentimeter, and then we will move forward to the next steps.
Here we are. Thank you. Thank you very much, Andrea, for introducing me, and thank you for all the speaker. I saw that a lot of people decide to join us. So this is just, we spend a couple of minutes just to introduce ourselves and understand who, where from, and what maybe you think about nature-based solution, what you can expect of this practical section. So I think that you can see everyone in your screen the code, and you can start to tell us where you come from. I saw someone from Italy, for example. I hope that everybody can work on that. 2 people come from Italy, right? Yeah. I give you some minutes, a few seconds, just to try to use it one more as well as. I saw in the chat someone from Qatar. Thank you, Marvin Te Yada. Hope to pronounce. Okay, some people seems to be from Spain or maybe Portugal, from Qatar. Italy is the country more present today, I think. And I think that we can move on the second slide, right? That is more focused on Europe. I saw someone before from Germany, am I right? Maybe she doesn't join our section right now. I think that we can, oh no, okay, we have someone from Sardinia, many thanks. Bye, Alexandra, thank you for staying with us. Oh, really? Okay, Netherlands, I think Spain, Romania. Okay, we have so different location. You can move on with the next. This is just to learn if you are part of any group or inside between these participants. Okay, most of the people that decide to participate in practical is not part of the group, so we can. Okay, it's 3. We can move on and decide to maybe to divide in the different group the people that is not part. What? And now we can type what you'd like to learn about MBS. What do you expect? Maybe I think it's just 2 words. It's a few lines. Maybe how to use MBS in the city, in the neighborhood, modeling on ABS. I think it was a question before. We saw that we have another word is scalable. Right, absolutely. Maybe feasible. Oh, MBS financial mechanism, absolutely. Yeah, I think is a good point for Andrea and our researchers. So I see connection between community engagement and MBS planning. considering different type of communities, right? Deep paving, real benefit, okay. I think it is a health connection and MBS effects or MBS effects on the health. Really interesting. Planning, right? Okay, see, it seems that we have the clear idea of how to manage all the MBS and the effects. And absolutely the first part of one of the most important is the financial system. I think that Naturance is a part of Naturance project is another part of our project to find the financial system and the insurance system. I think that more we can share maybe absolutely this slide after our section. This is the next one. What is the main challenge you want to address? We have urban floods, heat waves, drought, river flood, landslide, wildfire. I think it's better if I use this. The more voted is biodiversity tools. But I saw a lot of our urban floods. Here in Italy, we had a lot of bad examples, unfortunately, in the last few weeks, a few months, especially in Venice area, in North Italy, for example. But we all know maybe the experience of Emilia-Romagna region. Urban heat waves, okay. Nobody landslide and wildfires. This is interesting. Maybe it depends when part of Europe or region or what kind of country you come from. So next slide. I think we have almost done. Yeah, and now your idea about MBS. Just one word. Some words is coming, some idea. We have a blue-green, if maybe someone depave, we see before. Then we have connection, right? The urban green, connectivity, right? This is maybe this not the same, but really similar to connection, water retention, right? Resilience, good. Urban green connectivity is 3 words, but it's fine. What about adaptation? Could be. And what about resilient? Absolutely. Any other ideas? Okay, I think that we just collect a lot of words, a lot of ideas, and I think that now is the most practical part that we can try to better understand and have a response and answer to our workshop. So thank you very much to everybody, and I give the floor to Andrea, and let's keep in touch. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Red. Thank you, Ridu. It was amazing to see where people come from. We have such a diverse also interested, probably skills and backgrounds in the room, and I think this will make the initiative also a real success. So I'm here to try to move forward and recap what we're going to do. So the Naturethon invites you to work in groups to develop a nature-based solution idea. And we really encourage you to focus on your local context as group, citizen, expert, association, students, anyone connected to your area and community. And so we have seen that some of you are already a group, someone is looking for someone to work with. So if you already have a group or you are willing to create, you don't have a group now, but you're willing to create your own local group, that's great. We will support you in the work we are going to do together. If instead you are alone, you don't know, you are looking for people to team up with here in the room, I will kindly ask so we can work together and try to build up a common, some common groups. And so I will just kindly ask you to chat, yeah, sorry, to fill up this form. With this form, we are collecting your name and you're interested into putting contact with the others in the group that are your same interested. And so we are collecting name, email address, and the topic of interest, like a flood risk, urban heat waves, coastal flood and sea level rise, landslides, biodiversity, droughts, and wildfire. So what we have seen before. And so the idea is that we will share afterwards an email with all the materials that you can work with, and you can get in contact with each other, meet and start working together to have everything ready and prepare for the next meeting. So the idea, if you want to and help from us to build up a group with the people from here, please fill up this form. If not, if you want to go ahead with your own group that is already there, if your class, if your students or your friends, and create your local group, we will be happy to see you and them next time. So for each group that will be built up from us, and the new groups, you will receive an email with all the materials so that you can get to know each other with all the materials. And the first task that you will we will ask you to for the next time. So let me share what we are going to.
Andrea, we have a question
Sorry.
from Zala that I think that will be useful for all the participants that ask.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for the explanation. Just for clarify, the target of the initiative is non-experts, because it seems to me that some of people are researchers or work in the field. Just to understand if I should continue or not to follow the works. I don't know if you want to answer.
Yeah, I can take it. The initiative is open to everyone. So we will guide you to develop your own ideas in your local context as we can. We don't need to have expert researchers. You will learn with us during this workshop. This is really like the idea that we accompany you towards this process and your group. And so everything will be guided. I can maybe share the screen to show how we are going to work. Maybe this is already presented by Davide before, but the idea is that we'll meeting by meeting, we will build up and to deep dive in what are the challenges, the NBS possibilities, what are the user and stakeholders and the financial strategies to build up a NBS idea proposal that can be presented at the end. And you will not be alone with this. You will have to do some homework, let's say, at home. And of course, this is an occasion to learn a bit more, but you don't need to be an expert. Everyone can join. So also if you want to share this with your friends or whoever, we are very happy to have them on board. The first task, for example, is very easy. This is something. The idea is to be able to start next time to dig into the NBS solution and what is the in your local context. We will ask to each group to compile these like 3 slides to set in the scene, identify the context and the challenges in your area. So there are very few slides to get to know your team, who is in the name of the group, who is on the team, a group photo if you liked, and a shared description of who you are as a group. The second slide is related to your context. So we would like to see the place, the area you want to focus on, adding a picture, giving us a short description, and why this is important for you. And on this, the last part will just briefly to try to start to fill in the board that we just seen with the main challenges you think you are facing there. So if you have challenges related to the climate, like high temperatures, floods, droughts, everything, but also if you have environmental challenges like water pollution, land degradation, deforestation, soil erosion, etc., social challenges like health concern, limited access to green space, lack of educational and recreational opportunities, displacement of local community, and so on. Economic challenges related to poverty, economic damages, loss of productivities, increased cost for disaster recovery, job losses, and so on. Or if something is not related to any of these categories, you can also add other challenges. So there will be here a slide to type what are the main challenges you want to focus on. It has not to be everything. It could be just one challenge. It could be couple of challenges, because then we need to target the nature-based solution. So from the next time, then we will work on the nature-based solution ideas all together. And we will have an inspirational talk at the beginning to show some examples, and then we will divide in group to work together on this.
Andrea, sorry, I think that, there is just a question from Stephanie that asks that if the group activity will proceed online. I suppose yes.
Exactly.
Right.
It depends where are you from and where are your team mates come from. So if you're working locally and you are a group of local community, you can also meet in person and work together in person. With us, everything will be online. But of course, if you will be part of a group that will be formed here on this community of today, it will be more likely that you probably also not coming from the same place, but and you can meet online. Yeah, I think I can stop. No, the last things. So all this process. So day by day, you will be you will receive tasks to help you to go through and prepare for the next round, to be able at the end to define your final products, your final idea. We will share also these guidelines with you, what we need, we want for the final progress is not anything difficult. There will be an online survey. Sorry, I'm just reading some of the questions that are coming up. Stephanie, the online survey doesn't ask where are we from. So geographical situations is one of the factor of groupings. We know where are you from, so we will check if it's possible to match also the area that are you coming from. We will be happy to do this. But I mean, if there are not many people, it could be that we group different geographical areas well together. So this is why we really encourage also you, if you like, also to find your local or more close group. it could be challenges, but we will be here to help you. I just wanted to conclude to say what we were saying before. So we will share with you also the guidelines to produce the final idea. Is nothing too difficult. There will be an online survey that will need to be compiled, and we will ask also to add a supplementary material that can be in any form, like a report, like images, like a video, a presentation, a poster, the format that you like more and that you think could be the most suitable to target your audience. So it also depends on what you would like to then present your proposal, your ideas, where you would like to bring it, to who it would be the final user, and where we can share it. But this is also something that we can discuss together in the group work in the coming days. I think from my side is almost everything on the
and sorry,
more
Andrea,
technical activities. I don't know if there are any other question. I see some notification. Sorry, Soraya.
No, don't worry. No, I just want to clarify that if someone is interested in making their own local group, there's, I mean, not a real minimum number of members. We suggest, I mean, be at least 3 person, so very feasible, and maximum 10 person, so between 3 and 10 person for each group. So yeah, I mean, very feasible if you want to improve, to make your own local group engage into the Naturethon initiative. Just that.
Okay, thank you all. Before ending this fruitful, I would say, session, I want to answer to Stephanie. Yes, we shared on the chat also a folder where each time we will upload slide decks, recordings of the session, and other useful materials. And in this space, we also create different folders for each group in which you can upload your materials, your ideas, etc. And yeah, I think it's everything for this first session.